it wasn't until like, I met my first proper boyfriend that I'd had for 9 years that he introduced me to Coke. Yeah, I liked it. It made me feel very happy and, just letting go of everything that I was feeling in my head. And he got me on the floor, put his hands around my throat. In the end, I said, you know what? Take me. Take me.
Where does Thailand come in all of this? Hey folks, Pete here from Thairish Times. What's the story? How are you doing? We have a very serious topic for you today. We're going to meet a lady called Laura from England who's going to talk about suffering with emotional and physical abuse in her life. And also she's going to talk about drug and alcohol abuse and how she overcame those addictions, turned her life around. And at the time that I'm filming this right now, Laura has just moved to Thailand and she says she's moving to Thailand forever. So we're going to find out what Laura is going to do over there. If you're moving forever, like what are you going to do for money? So we're going to get into that as well. So we've got a lot to cover in this video, quite a serious topic, but it's, it's a real story, real life story. And that's what we're all about here on Thairish Times. Anyway, give you a quick look at that. You see all that clutter there? Well, I'm going to build a podcast studio. Not yet, but in process. So you got that to look forward to as well. Anyway, without further ado, I spoke too soon there. Let the cat out of the bag. So without further ado, let's go meet Laura. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, because that really helps out the channel. It's the best thing you could possibly do to help out this channel. Anyway, let's get into it. Laura, how's it going?
It's all good. It's so good. Like, I'm a little bit nervous this week as well because I'm going to Thailand on Sunday. And it's something that is so different, like so out of my comfort zone. But scary, but exciting as well. Like so exciting. So this week I've been prepping and I'm like packing and saying goodbye to family. And
so before we get into that, we're going to get into all the Thailand stuff. Let's go right back to the very start. Okay. Tell me, what was life like growing up?
Life growing up was difficult for me. I didn't have a bad childhood. Like I didn't have like a really bad childhood, but I had like issues with myself, sort of growing up thinking, oh, okay, I don't fit in. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel part of a going to school. I didn't feel very sort of like cool, like going with the cool kids and stuff like that. So I felt a little bit sort of out of place. Like I never sort of fitted in. My dad didn't really sort of give me a lot of love, or he split up from my mum like when I was like 1 year old. So I didn't really see him until maybe like 5 or 6, and then he met somebody else, and then like had my brother and like both my brothers, and then my sister. But yeah, because I was the oldest, I didn't feel like I kind of felt a little bit abandoned.
And did that lead into anxiety as you got older, or
100% anxiety? I didn't know that back then. Obviously, I was like growing up thinking, what do I do with these emotions? I have no idea, but you just don't know as a child. Yeah, it was difficult for me, really, really difficult. And like, I didn't really have anyone around me, or we didn't have YouTube back then. We didn't have like Facebook or, the internet to sort of Google it. And like, it was difficult because I just went along and grew up with my emotions and thought, and I had ADHD, but I didn't realize that until now, that I had that. So I'm thinking, I've got all these emotions, like, what do I do, with my life? And it kind of like being as a kid, you just, I felt like shit, I didn't fit in, it did my light. And um, yeah, growing up was quite difficult.
At what age did alcohol and drugs come into the picture?
The age for that was probably about 13. So it started when I was 13. I met this guy who was in his 30s, and he gave me cider. And I met him on a park with my friend, and but we went back to his house and we drank cider. And there I thought, okay, this is quite nice. I feel a little bit, my worries have gone and whatever. And I felt quite like safe and happy. Um, but looking back, God, he was grooming me. He was.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not normal for a 30-year-old man to take a 13-year-old girl back to his house.
Yeah, 100%. Um, and yeah, we're drinking cider. That was the first time I ever got drunk. And I remember coming home, going to my mum, like trying to speak like this so that she didn't know that I had a drink.
And was that just one occasion, or was there other times that you?
No, this was every few days. This was quite a lot. Yeah. My dad went mental when he found out that we were sort of, he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong, but it was just the fact that he was, plying us with alcohol at
Hmm.
13.
When did the when did like drug use come in? Because like you were drinking alcohol, but what about drugs?
Okay, that came in when I was about 16. So I started to smoke weed. Um, and yeah, it was like great. I was with my friends and we're having a little party, and um, yeah, all good at the time. And then it went into more things than weed. It was more like I tried ecstasy, and my family don't know that, but I did. I tried ecstasy and I tried all sorts.
Did it spiral out of control, or were you able to control it, or what?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I could control it, but then I was like, I left that for a while again, and it wasn't until I met my first proper boyfriend that I'd had for 9 years that he introduced me to coke. And so I was in my 20s then. Like back in the day when I was younger, yeah, tried weed and this, that, the other, and that was it. I was fine with that. I was okay. I didn't really drink that much, but when I met my ex-partner that I was with for 9 years, we well, he gave me coke, and that was it really. I liked it. It made me feel very happy, and just letting go of everything that I was feeling in my head. um and a lot of the reasons like behind having alcohol and drugs is because you want to sort of let go what's going on in your head. And so yeah, so I had a lot of cocaine, and it was difficult really, because you want to be that good child, right? And you want to be the best daughter to your family, to your mum and your dad.
Were you caught in like a spiral where like okay, you do the coke, the next day you feel terrible, that leads to depression, anxiety, and then you go back onto coke again, and you're just caught in this constant loop.
It really was a big loop, and I was lying to everyone. um it was yeah, it was difficult. It was really difficult because I didn't want to be that child, but because I felt so like shit from school, or shit from the boyfriend that I'd had, or shit from whoever or whatever happened in my life growing up, I wanted to carry on doing that to make me feel better. But I knew, the weird thing was, right, that in the back of my head, I knew that this is not for me. This is not my calling. I know that. And I knew that from a young age. I did.
And what about like when you got into your 20s? Like what were the relationships like then?
I went to Benidorm, and then I met my guy that I was with for 9 years. He he was the one that introduced me to coke, and he was the one that abused me. He hit me and um, mentally abused me as well. I suppose he cheated on me like the whole of the time that we were together, and kind of made me feel like it's in my head, which led me more to drink, more to drugs, and yeah, just it was like this vicious circle over and over and over and over again. Um, yeah, it was difficult. Like it's been since I've been young. This whole alcohol, this whole drug addiction, even though I didn't wake up wanting it, it was there in my life, like always there in my life.
And are we talking like physical abuse? Are we talking about punches, kicks, the whole thing?
Yeah, headbutts in the, obviously in the head, and we'd go out to a party one night. I remember coming home, and I would be, we'd had a drink, and we'd had some alcohol and drugs. We did, but I remember one day that I was sat there, and he would just lay me on the floor and kick my head. And sorry, I find this really difficult to talk about, but I know that I need to get this message across, to people. So everyone loved him. Everyone loved him. Everyone said he was like the cheeky chappy, and he was loved. And I was like, how can I tell my family, that he's doing this to me?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people like that. Outside there, they have that image. What do they call it? Street saint and a house devil.
I've never heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
they say in Ireland.
Yeah.
So what was it? What brought that relationship to an end?
Basically I had enough. There was one night that he did this every weekend. He would smash the kitchen up, or there was one time that he put a knife through the, like a oven door, the glass doors. He smashed that through with a knife, and it came to pieces. And I remember that, and I was thinking, Jesus Christ, I've got to sort that out in the morning. I've got to sort that out in the morning. Um, and I thought, I can't do this no more. And then I had a go at him, and he said, right, you're worthless. After me, no one's ever going to want to see you again, or date you again, or whatever. And he got me on the floor, and he put his hands around my throat, and he said, no one wants to be a part of your life, this, that, the other. And he really was sort of like making me feel like shit. And I in the end, I said, you know what? Take me. Take me. I've had enough. I don't want to be on this planet no more. And he stopped, and he was like, oh, shit, what have I done? And I said, you've done this over and over and over again. I cannot do this no more. I snapped, and he snapped, I think, and it was the end. And I said to him, okay, you're going to have to go. You cheated on me all the 9 years. You've made me feel worthless. Um, you've hit me for no reason. And yeah, I just said, right, that's it. It's over. So I was so excited. I got like a new place to move into, a new little cottage for me. And yeah, I moved. I let go of him, and I moved on. But I went from him to another relationship that was a emotional abuse. He was a narcissist, and it was I was more scared of him.
Okay, what was he doing?
It was control. It was very, very much control. So he would I sort of had to send him pictures of where I was. If I was stuck in traffic, or I was late home for like an hour, I had to send pictures of where I was, saying that I'm in traffic, and I'm not anywhere that I shouldn't be. But whereas my ex was not like that before, it was very much, yeah, control, very much control. It was, I had to sort of ask him every time I had to go out or whatever, does he think that I'm cheating on him? And I'm like, it was quite controlling in my brain, and it made me drink more. Um, it was difficult. It was really, really, really difficult, but it was hard to get away from him. Hard. And it's still to this day that I've left, 5 years ago. I still get emails to my old email address, and he will not leave that connection.
So let's talk about the moment that you changed your life, or was there one moment, or was there a series of moments?
There was a time that I went abroad with my friends and her mum. Um, yeah, I sat there in Asda car park, and I was like, right, I'm going to go and get a bottle of wine. And I sat there, and I was looking at my steering wheel on the car going, God, can something help me? Can somebody bloody help me? Because I am sick to death of living this life of abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse. And yes, I went home that day, and the next day, yeah, I got a Facebook ad that came up on my phone and said, okay, do you want to be a network marketer? And I was like, well, not really, but I'll accept. And I went on, and I thought, yeah, this is quite good. This is quite good. Um, I'm quite chatty. I go, I speak to anybody, and I thought, yeah, maybe I could do this. But the training that I got was amazing. It was The Secret, the documentary The Secret. And I'd never ever heard of law of attraction, ever.
Can you just explain, because I don't know too much about it, can you just explain, like, what is the secret? Give us a quick summary of the law of attraction.
So the law of attraction is what you think about, it you become, or it becomes, whatever you if you start to think positive things, and write down maybe what you want to do in life, or what you want out of life, and you start to change your perspective on things, it already manifests and comes to you. And I kind of knew that, but I was doing it the opposite way. So it's like the secret was saying things like, when you are in a negative space and you think, okay, so you get up in the morning and you stub your toe and you're like, for God's sake, I feel bad. I feel shit. I can't be asked to go to work that day, or whatever. You attract negative energy to you. If you are in a positive way and you feel good about yourself, and you're doing like a really good morning routine, you attract the same thing but positive. Like attracts like. And it was so fascinating to me, like so fascinating, that I thought, yeah, this is right. And I started to really, really delve into this and realize that this is the way forward. It makes sense because all the years that I've had in negative relationships, negative, spiral out of control, negative everything that I had in my life for that many years was, bringing that back to me, attracting the wrong people, attracting the wrong circumstances, attracting everything that was not right. But now that I was introduced to The Secret, it changed my life. It did.
In what way? Tell us how it changed. What did you do? What happened?
So I watched it and I thought, God, this is for me. This is so for me. Um, and I remember I was still with the second ex, and I thought, oh God, yeah, for me, for me. And it took me a while to get out of that relationship. Um, but I knew I had to sort of carry on doing that self development, that self awareness, self discovery, And behind the scenes from him, I started to really, really delve into it. And I started to journal, and I started to get everything that was out in my head onto paper. So it wasn't in my head. And so I didn't just grab a drink or grab drugs to sort of self-medicate. 6 years now, 6 years of just helping myself into, well, delving into spirituality. It's not even just spirituality, it is like self-development, self-discovery. And
You mentioned one time in an email to me that at one stage you were suicidal.
yeah, oh yeah, God, yeah. I've been there a couple of times. Yeah, it was because I'd had so many years, like if you think about it, all my 20s, also being like half my teenage years, I couldn't, I could not fathom my emotions. I didn't know what to do with my emotions. And like I say, there was no help then, no help. Um, so yeah, I felt suicidal, and I wanted to, yeah, not be on this planet. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard times. But this time round, I'm like, no, you've got to get out your head and into your heart and realize that, yeah, we're all going to go. All of us. Like the way I like to look at things like now is like we're all going to go anyway. So why care what people think about you? Why care about other people? Just do you. And when you change that perspective, your whole world changes around you.
So when you did you quit alcohol and drugs? Is that what happened? Or are you still okay? Should you take a drink?
Now and again, I will, but not like I did. Like special occasions, I'll have a glass of wine here and there, but I don't really want a drink now. But drugs, I yeah, will never ever touch ever again, and it's been a lot of years now.
Right. So your story is fantastic, but where does Thailand come in all of this?
Okay, so when I started to realize that I need to change my life and change everything about me, maybe not so much about me, but sort of enhance and improve myself, I decided to, well, I met this guy called Brett Moran, fantastic, fantastic healer. He, I did a course with him, and yeah, it really, really changed my life. And I thought, oh God, I need to do this and show people that you can get out of a dark space. You do not need to be in your head all the time.
Where was this course on?
So this was on Bodhi Yoga Thailand, it's called. So this guy, oh, let's get this off me then. He sent me a postcard and said, thank you for being an ambassador. So, like, I was an ambassador for him. And I looked at that postcard and I thought, you know what? I need to go there. So I moved in with my mum about a year ago, and I saved up some money, and I got my visa. And I just thought, you know what? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Because as much as much as I'm very scared of this new culture, this new country, and this new amazing place, I know that I've got friends there. I've got Brett there, and I've got Georgia there, all my friends.
So which part? Which part are you going?
I'm going to Koh Phangan. So I'll be going to Koh Samui first, the first sort of 4 days. I think I'm going to be there for 4 days. Yeah, Koh Samui, and then Koh Phangan. Then we're going to go over to Phuket and go and see the Big Buddha.
So is this a holiday or are you
No,
going?
but I'm staying there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going for a 3 month visa, the tourist visa, but then I've got to extend it and change the visa to I don't know yet. I need to look into like how I change it to stay there a little bit longer.
You want to work there?
I want to work there because now, yeah, recently I've become a coach, like a life coach. Um, I don't know whether I can, if I do that on a work visa or what. So when I'm there, then I'm gonna just see what happens.
So you're in it for the, for the foreseeable future. You want to be living in Thailand for 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I want to live in paradise. I want to go to the beach and just, live my life than living in a box. Like I always say, like the box life. Like I used to be in the box car and watch box TV and go to my box office, and that was my life. I'd come home and have box tea. I would live for the weekend. I'd have like wine on the weekend, and I'd look forward to having a party. And that is not my life no more. Like I really, really want to live in paradise and just.
The life coach business has to work out then, right? In order to get enough income to live.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I know this is my calling. I know this is my passion, and I absolutely live and breathe by this because it's helped me. It's got me out of like such a dark time
And how do you attract clients?
by people resonating with me, because I know that what I've gone through, domestic abuse, and not just domestic, but emotional abuse, I can help other people do the same thing. They can resonate with me, knowing that I've been through that and how I've got out the other side.
Is there like a business model in place that you can go over to Thailand, get it going fast, and start bringing in an income?
So basically, I've invested in myself. The last couple of years, I've invested in myself. I've spent a lot of money in myself, for myself, to build this business up and to build my coaching community up. And it's only just started, yeah, but I've only just left my job that I was working for. So I was working for Microsoft, and it was a corporate job, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. I loved the people there. We had a great team, but it was just because I feel like that wasn't my passion. I wasn't helping people in, getting out of a dark space in the head. So I know that there is a market out there for me to help other people do the same thing.
Is there a plan B in place to say if you go there and say the business doesn't work out, is there a plan B in place if that happens?
If there is a plan B, which I don't really want there to be a plan B, but if there is, I will still be going down that route of helping other people. I do not want to go back to the corporate world. I do not want to go back to that life. Wait, this is the thing. I do not want to do something that does not help me or does not help anybody else. I have to be in that path line that where I can help other people do something that they really want to do, but are too scared to do it. And it's taken me, like I'm 38 now, and it took me a long, long time to realize that you've got to go for your dreams, because we don't get off this roller coaster alive anyway. So why not do what you want to do? And that's what self-discovery has taught me, and self development has taught me, is to work on yourself and realize that go and chase what makes you happy.
You didn't like the corporate life. What is it that you don't like about it?
The 9 to 5, um, being told when you can go to the toilet, more or less, how long you can spend out there, and going to the toilet, or having your holidays is like 23 days a year. I think I had 23. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be in control of when I want to go on holiday, and when I can spend time with my family or friends or whatever. Like my big plan is, like, I was told when I was younger as well, which I not mentioned earlier, that I was told I could never have kids. And that also kind of made me feel like, as a spiral out of control, that I couldn't have kids. So yeah, I was really upset about that. But I want a family. So like the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to work around my kids when I finally do have them, because I believe that I will. Um, yeah, like I want to drop them off at school and pick them up after school. I don't want to go to work at 9 o'clock and finish at 5 and that's it. I want to make a difference and I want to help people.
Laura, we'll leave it there. Look, I want to wish you the best of
Okay,
luck in
thank you so
Thailand.
much.
Maybe in a couple of months' time we could do it again, and we could do like a
Yeah,
follow up to see
let's
how you're
catch
getting
up like
on.
where I am and like, if I'm still there, which I will be. Um, yeah, that would be nice. But thank you for having me on. It's always difficult for me to talk about my story, you know what I mean? And I didn't really go into detail, which I should have done, but
Now you did
it's
well. Listen, you did well. Look, don't worry about it. Look, you got your story across. You got your point across.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. I wish you the best of luck. I mean, I have to
Thank
say,
you so
I'm
much.
jealous. You're going over to Thailand. You know, he's there for 12 years. I am
I
jealous, but
know.
huh?
12 years, man.
12
12
years.
years.
Yeah, 12
And you're
years.
back in Ireland. What?
Back in Ireland now, about I think maybe 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm in a state of reverse culture shock
yeah,
right
yeah, I
now.
bet. I
Yeah,
bet. I bet.
everything is new. People are
Everything,
new. People are a lot different.
that's it. Yeah. But I believe like everything happens for a reason. And I mean it, like everything does happen for a reason. You've got this path laid out for you and you take inspired action. And it always, and if you take that inspired action, it always leads you where you're meant to be.
Yeah, you know
Uh,
what? I'm not like the feeling is not like, oh no, what am I doing back here? A lot of people think like that's okay. You people, right? You went back to Thailand, to Ireland. You must hate it over there. I'm like, you know
yeah.
what? It's a breath of fresh air, really. Like
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the difference. I wanted a new challenge. I've been there for 12 years and like I kind of felt stagnant. And I was
Yeah.
like, I need a new challenge. I need to grow, develop as a person. Because I left at a very young age as well. So I spent more of my adult life in Thailand than I have
Wow.
in Ireland, which is
Gosh.
just mad.
It is really.
Yeah.
I've done like the reverse, like the total opposite.
Yeah, but that's it. That's life is crazy, you know. But listen, let's do a follow up in say 4 or 5 months' time. We'll stay in
Okay,
contact on Instagram. And you set
100%.
up your channel. I'll watch your videos and
Thank
we'll
you.
do it again.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me on.
Take care, Laura. Take it easy. Nice to meet
Bye.
you. Bye. Bye.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye bye.